I don't know if you all know this or not, but tomorrow is the UEFA Women's Champions League final between Chelsea and Barcelona. And this is an absolute must-watch game, trust me, because both these teams have been on their best run this season, and it is going to be a super interesting game. Here is everything you need to know about the same. This is actually a very fresh match because neither of these teams have faced each other in any competitive game before, and neither have they won any Champions League final before this. This match is being played in Gothenburg, Sweden. It's on 17th May, 12:30 am IST, that is tomorrow night, Sunday night, and you all can watch it in India. It's streaming on the same platforms as the Men's Champions League. We'll be looking at both these teams one by one in detail, their journey to the finals this season, the key players to look out for, and the predicted lineup. Chelsea is actually the first club to reach the both men's and the women's Champions League final in the same season. Their journey of reaching the finals has also been pretty interesting. In the round of 32, they beat the debutants Benfica 8-0 with a 5-0 away victory and a 3-0 home victory, which was very easy. In the round of 16, they beat Atletico Madrid 3-1. Despite losing their key midfielder Sophie Engel in an early red card in the first leg, the Blues prevailed with their fantastic goalkeeper Anne Berger saving 2 penalties. Both the quarterfinal legs were played in Budapest against Wolfsburg, where Chelsea knocked them out on a 5-1 aggregate. Wolfsburg have actually knocked Chelsea out in 3 of their 4 previous seasons, but this season's their key players turned up right when they had to, with their keeper Anne Berger making saves after saves, and as usual their stars Sam Kerr and Pernille Harder scoring in both games. The semi-finals actually were the most crucial games for Chelsea. It was against Bayern, where they ultimately won on a 5-3 aggregate, but Bayern had defeated Chelsea 2-1 in the first leg. And in the second leg, the score was 2-1 to Chelsea until the last minute, and it was absolutely unsure as to who is going to qualify for the finals. But in the stoppage time, goals from Harder and Kirby saved the Blues, qualifying them for their first ever Champions League final. Firstly, their goal scorers Sam Kerr and Fran Kirby. Their coach Emma Hayes always starts these two, and they are literally the most perfect duo. They have 30 goals in 19 games, mostly assisted by each other. Then is their playmaker Pernille Harder, who plays in combination with Sophie Engel and almost controls the entire game. And also, of course, their captain Magdalena Eriksson, who is the team's defensive rock. Talking about defense, of course, their goalkeeper Anne-Katrin Berger goes absolutely without saying. She has been making brilliant saves after saves in such crucial games for Chelsea, and one of the very important reasons why Chelsea has qualified this far in the competition. Barcelona Femini are the fan favourites for this match, coming to the final having won the domestic league just last Sunday, scoring 128 goals in only 26 games and having conceded only 5. They have reached at least the quarterfinal stage in 3 out of the last 5 seasons, and they've reached the finals once in 2019, having lost 4-1 to Lyon. Barcelona had lost 1-0 to Wolfsburg in the semi-finals last season, and since that August, they have won 35 games, drawn 2, and lost only 1 out of the 38 competitive games. And the one match which they lost was against Man City, which they had already won the first leg. Their journey to this season's Champions League finals has been no less interesting, with their round of 32 and round of 16 wins being pretty easy. In round of 32, they won on an 8-2 aggregate against PSV, and in round of 16, they won on a 9-0 aggregate against Fortuna. Their quarterfinals against City was also pretty impressive. Luckily, they won 3-0 in the first leg, because in the second leg, they lost 2-1 to City, but ultimately qualified on a 4-2 aggregate. Their semi-finals was against PSG, where it was a very close win. In the first leg, it was a 1-1 draw, and in the second leg, even though PSG had already scored a goal, their very important player Martens, she scored 2 goals, finalizing the aggregate to be 3-2. Barcelona had been knocked out by PSG twice before, and this season PSG had knocked out Lyon, who have been winning the Women's Champions League since the past 5 seasons. They ended their fire reign. They have 2 important goal scorers, Hermoso and Oshuala, who have a combination of 102 goals in the past 2 seasons. But mostly it's only one of them that starts, and for this match it's going to be Hermoso who you should look out for because of Oshuala's injuries. Even though she is recovered right now, she is not going to be starting. Next is their playmaker Alexia, who is a prolific source of goals from the midfield. She's the highest scoring midfielder who acts as a false 9 for the team. Then their defensive rock Mappy Leon, who is actually a central defender, but she can also play as a left back. And we're obviously not leaving out their goalkeeper Sandra Panio. I don't exactly know how to pronounce her surname, but we're obviously not leaving Sandra out of this, who has conceded only 5 goals this season, and she has been in the UEFA Women's Champions League squad for 4 seasons in a row, and this might as well be her 5th. Though Mappy Leon's central partnership is going to be broken because Andrea Herrera is suspended for this game, but I think Mappy Leon this time will single-handedly do the job. So guys, that is about it for tomorrow's UEFA Women's Champions League final. Please don't forget to watch the match. This is all you need to get yourself familiarized with before the game to understand what's going on. And please do watch. It's going to be like a very high scoring game because we've seen Barca scoring records and we've seen Chelsea's duo who's been in the highlight this entire season. So it's undoubtedly going to be interesting watching Barca's possession and passing against Chelsea's physical and direct approach.